The greenhouse is the epicenter of our native plant center here at PRI. Currently, we're growing 16 different species of flowering plants, or forbs, as well as grasses. And we're growing plants here for three purposes. The first purpose is for us to ramp up the amount of seeds that we can collect for sowing back out into the prairie on our restoration programs. When we're sowing seeds on, say, 4 acres in the fall, we'll need many, many pounds of each different type of species of seed. So some of these plants we have on our site, but in such limited quantity that we only collect a few seeds and then we sow them into these plugs, and then we ramp up our seed production by taking these and putting them out in our nursery beds. The second reason we're growing plants out here, such as this red paintbrush, is because we're involved in a cooperative agreement with the National Park Service here on Whidbey Island. We're growing several species of plants, including Romer's fescue, to help restore the Eby's Overlook, as well as the Eby's Bluff sites, where there's a lot of poison hemlock. The third reason we're growing native plants at this time in our greenhouse is for a partnership that's funded by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife between a dozen organizations involved in restoration throughout the Puget Sound region, from far south of Olympia all the way to the Canadian border. PRI's role this year is to provide genetics for other partners throughout the region from 6 different species of flowering plants, as well as our signature species here on the prairie, Romer's fescue, which is a bunch grass. These partnerships that PRI has with different organizations enable us to take advantage of the wonderful diversity of genetics that we have on site and share those with other restoration efforts that don't have such a bounty. And also, parts of these collaborative partnerships or grants are an additional source of income for PRI. So we have multiple income streams as we need as a nonprofit, and one of them is to sell native plants. The fourth reason we're growing plants in our greenhouse is for our native plant sale coming up in May. On May 12th to 14th, PRI will have our annual Prairie Open House. And we'll be selling plants, perhaps 5 or 6 different species in 1-gallon pots. We'll have field chickweed. We'll have showy fleabane, which is a daisy-like plant. We'll have woolly sunflower, otherwise known as Oregon sunshine. We'll have buttercup, which is western buttercup, and also we'll have red paintbrush for sale in May. So that's a fourth reason we're growing plants out at this time.